Hello, ladies. This is your host, Yemi Majekodumi from Widow Recovery Secrets. I hope you're well, and I hope today is a good day for you. Wishing you're having a good day, or if not, a better day. Thank you for listening and sharing our podcast. Please continue to do so, to listen, download, and share as much as you can. There's power in empowering another or sharing what you gain strength from. Do not forget to rate us and do leave your comments. We'd love to hear from you and also feedback to you on questions you ask us. A 5-star is good. You can subscribe to our podcast now by using the link in the summary notes. And this gives you access to new and fresh material from us. Our Widow Wellness Support Group is available to access each month at a minimal donation. You get to tap into a growing organic group and gain strength from it. To find out more, click or go to, in the summary notes, walkingoutofwidow.com. I also continue to serve you as a coach, one-to-one to single women and widows, looking to grow in relationships, career, leadership skills, faith, grief recovery, and more. Basically, I work with you to grow from where you are to where you want to go. I call it greatness. Connect with me directly via social media. I would love to hear from you. Go to walkingoutofwidow.com or businessandmarriagecoaching.co.uk, specifically for both needs, really. All links are in the summary notes of this podcast. So what am I covering today? With all what's going on around us, cost of living, the different wars, the fear of wars, sometimes life can be overwhelming. And also if you've just been bereft or you're still coping with the loss of your husband. So I thought, even for myself, I thought the topic relevant in this season is the word overwhelmed. So what I'm going to look at what it means and if it's something you can relate to. So what does overwhelm feel like? I would define it as the constant juggling of so many balls, so many tasks, and trying to find a way to find time. But there never seems to be enough time to even manage all of them. So overwhelm is defined as being buried or drowning beneath a huge mask of something, or too many tasks, not being able to come out of that feeling of being submerged. Do you feel like you have so much going on that you're struggling to cope with it? Or you're going through something stressful that is making it difficult for you to function with all the tasks presently you currently juggle? So these are some of the signs of being overwhelmed. Everyone feels overwhelmed from time to time. And it can be a completely normal response to everyday stresses, says Dr. Romanoff. Stress can sometimes be helpful, but because it fires up your system and helps you to become more productive. However, being chronically stressed out and constantly feeling overwhelmed is not good for your body, as it can create toxins in us. So just to mention 5, according to Dr. Romanoff, of if you are feeling overwhelmed or identifying overwhelm. So number 1, paralysis. You may experience a freeze response that can cause you to feel paralyzed and unable to function. Even simple tasks can feel impossible. You may find yourself postponing stressful tasks or avoid them altogether. Number 2, disproportionate reactions. You may react to minor stresses. For instance, you may panic if you're unable to find your keys. So your reaction to that might be more than required from someone observing. Number 3, withdrawal. You may find yourself withdrawing from friends and family. You may feel like they cannot help you understand what you're going through. Number 4, cognitive fatigue. You may feel confused and have difficulty concentrating, making decisions, solving problems, or even having a good sleep overnight. Physical symptoms. You may experience physical symptoms such as rapid heartbeat, difficulty breathing, dizziness, fatigue, aches and pains, to name a few. But being chronically stressed and overwhelmed can lead to physical and mental health conditions such as high blood pressure, heart disease, obesity, depression, to mention a few. So that's why it's important to know what you're going through and to manage them or give it a name so as to get the support you need. Dr. Romanoff identifies various triggers, but I'm just going to mention 5. And one that is relevant to us in this podcast is the loss of a loved one. Number 1, excessive workload or a stressful work environment, relationship difficulties or breakups. Number 4, financial problems. Number 5, health concerns or major life changes, which also links to the loss of a spouse, because obviously we know you move from being in a partnership to being single, a single household, running most of the things. So I'm giving you today 5 tips on coping with being overwhelmed. 4 are from Dr. Romanoff and 1 is an invaluable tip from my experience. So number 1, change your perspective. Easier said than done, I guess you're thinking. But the best way to do it is to take a step back from your thought processes. And that requires taking time out in the quiet. Recognize and accept how you are feeling and the situation you're in. And stop the vicious emotional cycle of recrimination. Being too hard on yourself, blaming yourself, or thinking perhaps you're the inadequate one. None of us are perfect. Do what you can to get some perspective on the situation. You can try taking a break from the situation, going for a long walk, changing your environment, speaking to a friend, or taking a few deep breaths. Changing your environment could mean even not perhaps deciding to work from home remotely rather than going into your office. Or seek out resources to help you solve the problem. This could mean asking for help, doing something to recalibrate your perspective, maybe have a short weekend away, or go for a long swim, which I tend to do, or approaching the problem from a different angle. Brainstorm on a whiteboard and see what you come up with. Number 2, challenge your assumptions. When we are overwhelmed, we tend to let irrational thoughts and fears guide us instead of being logical. For instance, if you're going through a breakup, you may worry about what people may think about you, or you may stress about being single and ending up alone. In the context of being a widow, you might find you're ready to start dating, or you're worrying about you've met the right person, or you're starting to look, or you're socializing and you've met a friend. But unconsciously, you're now thinking, how are you going to bring that into your current day-to-day, and what are people going to say? So challenge those assumptions. You're an adult. It's your decision to make, but you just pray to make the right decision. Number 3 is seek support. Connect with people. Good people. Reach out to a support network, friends, family, colleagues, or get yourself a coach who can offer advice, support, and unique perspective. And sometimes it's always even easier to speak to people who don't know you because they're not too close to you emotionally. So what they're saying to you is not impacted by how close they are to you. Accept the help of loved ones and let them be there for you if they can. And number 4, try mindfulness exercises. I'm looking at mindfulness in reference to what Dr. Ramanoff says. But the number 1 thing I would say is, if you are a Christian, your mindfulness can be applied by using the word from the Bible. Pick the scripture, read it, meditate over it, and read it again. Or find a particular concern in the word and read the word. What does the word say? And let it resonate in your mind. Take time out in the quiet. For practical mindfulness also, there's an exercise called 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And this is sitting in a quiet spot and just trying to notice things around you. Because when we're overwhelmed, some people get panic attacks or they just can't relax. So by distracting yourself from what your mind is thinking This exercise allows you in this quiet space to look at 5 things you can see, 4 things you can touch or feel, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste. So that in a way is a practical mindfulness exercise that allows you to calm down and step away from being overwhelmed. It's like distracting your thoughts. You can use it to take a break and then reapproach the issue later from a fresh perspective. And number 5, my one is, of many, is intentionally plan a holiday. The holiday you keep postponing, plan something. A holiday doesn't have to be for 2 weeks. It could even just be for 3 nights. Start small and start to incorporate a holiday in the year or in the months to come. Intentionally decide when to take the holiday, and this will require planning financially, and it doesn't always have to be expensive. If you plan it ahead, or perhaps go off season and get someone to take care of your children. So also easing your stress levels, as you know, the pressure of work. This will ease your stress levels, and ease the pressure of work because you're taking time out. A vacation also is an opportunity to meet new people, perhaps even serve new people, but in a social setting, and then they could become your clients in the future. It's not about just isolating yourself. So I hope that helps. And holidays allow you to be removed from your current position, as I've just said. Coaching can help you also develop the skills you need to manage feelings of being overwhelmed. It can also help you understand why you tend to have this strong response to stressors, particularly if you have a history of feeling overwhelmed. Coaching can also help you find ways to increase confidence through competence, both of which positively reinforce each other. The more competent you are, the more confident you feel, and vice versa. However, chronic overwhelm exacerbated by mental health problems will require accessing therapy. Anyway, I hope this helps. Being able to identify how you feel and name it enables you to address the specific challenge. Just admitting you're overwhelmed starts resolving the problem. Being overwhelmed or feeling overwhelmed is telling you that your life might be coming out of control if you do not do something about it. So do not leave it for too long. If you're not sleeping, if you're withdrawing, or you're just feeling basically overwhelmed. Sometimes you might just require some supplements as well to build up your body. Anyway, I'm going to sign off now. I hope this helps. For more on this topic, go to my website. I cover more on it. Thank you for listening and sharing our podcast. Please continue to listen and download and share this podcast with the Recovery Secrets. And do not forget to rate us, leave your comments, and a 5-star is good. You can subscribe to our podcast by using the link in the summary notes, and this will give you new and fresher material. Our Widow Wellness Support Group is still available to access each month. The 3rd Saturday, it's moved to Saturday now, at a minimal donation. Check it out at the website on walkingoutofwidow.com. Please stay well, take care of yourself, and remember I offer coaching, one-to-one coaching. At the moment, the group coaching for this period is closed for bookings. But find me or connect with me on social media, as some of you have already done, to have a chat with me when I go live, or just send me a message on my WhatsApp number. Signing off now. This is your host from Widow Recovery Secrets, Yemi Majekodum. Remember, there's always hope after loss. Life is full of hope. As long as you're alive, there's nothing you cannot do. You can do greater and greater exploits. Thank you.